Have you thought about the difficulty it might be of on 3rd and long, running
Sure.
a deep route and then just running back out there?
Absolutely, yeah. No, it's important me for kind of like conditioning right, and it was a concern of mine if I run a deep route, how is that going to affect my punting? I don't want to have to take a timeout. But I also want to be able to help the team on 3rd down. I don't want that to become an issue. So I've been really working at it conditioning-wise, and I don't foresee it to be a problem. But then again, it's going to be something that I'm not going to really know until we get into those first few scrimmages of fall and see how that goes. So, I kind of try and take an approach. If it's catching a long pass and then having a return punt, or doing something like that, there are certain moments where people have to go back to back. So I hope it's not an issue. But
how much of a priority is punting for you?
Well, it's if I'm the guy for the job, if I'm the guy that's going to help the team in that area, then I'm all for it. Come camp, if one of those other guys is better, I'll still do it and try and push them. But my primary role is receiver. Without a doubt, that's my first priority. But if I can help punting and it doesn't really hurt me in the receiving area, then I'm all for it. In the beginning of the summer, I was at home and I'd punt a ball and then run, and punt it back and run and go get it, trying to see what it's like to kick with a tired leg. And then once I got into the thick of Coach Gentry's conditioning program, that backed off a little bit because that's pretty intense. But if I'm out there goofing off, I'll try and hit a couple, run, get them, and just try and kick while I'm breathing somewhat heavily. So at VMI, my dad works at VMI, so we just go up there. We've messed around a couple times this summer when I'm home, so that's been fun.
Are you better now than you were at the beginning of the summer?
I think so. Yeah, I feel more comfortable with it. I absolutely feel more comfortable. I was still a little foreign to it. In spring, I've been doing it, but it was still new. Like I said, I'm definitely more comfortable with it, and I think a little bit more consistent with it. Still a long way to go, but I feel more comfortable with it.
Going from base to nickel and back.
How about the receiving thing?
Still the same idea, but with different personnel, or
what kind of
just not
progress
do that
made dealing now with Logan Thomas as opposed to
probably for a lot of guys, everybody wants to play.
Their approach is the same. These two guys, and the way they handle themselves off the field, on the field, their study towards the game, it's all the same. So that helps out when you have a guy that's as passionate about the game as Tyrod was. So going out there and throwing with Logan, he's always down to throw whenever. He's always out there 7-on-7 and looking sharp. So the 7-on-7s are tough because it's not exactly what you're going to see during a practice, but pretty similar. And the playbook isn't extensive, but it's pretty. He looks good. He looks good. It's been fun working with him.
Is his approach, you mentioned he approached it the same way as Tyrod, is that something has it always been that way for him, or do you think he kind of took that?
I think being behind Tyrod for a couple of years, there's some of Tyrod that rubbed off on him, definitely. There are things that rubbed off for me, the guys that were here 5 years ago, and I was only there for a few semesters with them. So I think he definitely learned some things, but I think that he's just kind of a natural leader in the sense that he's really passionate about what he does and the sport, and he really takes a lot of pride in his position.
From a receiver standpoint, what is your responsibility to try and bring him along and get on the same page and to have the type of rapport that you and Tyrod have?
Yeah, well, we kind of realized throughout our 3 years with Tyrod is that you just kind of have to be on the same page. And it's something that we might have not understood early on, but as long as we can be in each other's ear, the good stuff and the bad stuff, and understand what each other are seeing. Then that makes, if I go back and if I asked Logan what coverage he saw, as long as we're on the same page, or if he checked it one way, I want to know why. What was his thought process? What is he looking at? So things like that.
Do you get the sense the offense is going to change at all because there's a new quarterback?
Well, it might be a little different. They're definitely two different players. Tyrod Tyrod's a great quarterback. I had a great time playing with him, and he definitely made me better. So, I think Logan's going to be good by the time it's all said and done. But it's going to be a little bit different. And like I said earlier, things like that we're not going to know until the first practices, the first couple games. And I think he's going to.
That was just
Do you get the sense the coaches are still trying to almost get a feel for what he's really capable of?
Sure, I think so. I think it took them 3 years to still try and figure out Tyrod's abilities. I mean, we added on each year a little bit more, and his development's going to keep going and keep progressing throughout his time here. So this is just the beginning of it. I think he's going to be a great player.
That's basically it. At the end of the day, most teams will see them in their plays, and they'll run the same play 3-4 times. And we'll stop 2 of them, and then that one will break because somebody.
The height is an obvious physical difference. I think it's because of it, they might play the game a little bit different. Logan might stay in the pocket a little bit more. Tyrod might have to move the pocket in order to see. So, things like that. Even as far as where the ball comes out, Logan's 6'6", the ball comes out a lot higher than where the ball would come out of Tyrod's throwing. So just as a receiver, coming out of your route and looking up a little bit more is a little bit different than looking, right at eye level. So those are some of the differences.
He said maybe not so much because he was a play caller, but because you have a new quarterback. And he mentioned, he alluded to Logan's arm strength. How strong is his arm, and what he see this summer in 7-on-7.
Every time we break it down,
he can just, it's like you run a takeoff route, and it just kind of, you see the ball is in the air forever, and before you know it, you catch it and you're 60 yards downfield. I mean, I was with him, and he was telling some people that you could throw it 70, 75 yards. And while I've never seen him sit there and throw it, I'll believe it. So he definitely has a really strong arm. His short passes become fast. But I mean, you can't take anything away from Tyrod because he had it. I mean, he was a great quarterback with a great arm. A lot of people don't understand that, but he had a great arm as well.
A lot of folks think Virginia Tech has the best set of receivers. Could you talk about that, your depth and your talent across the board?
Well, we certainly have a lot of experience, and I think that's going to help us out, hopefully help our offense out a little bit. But
off the lines back, so really, when you think about it, kind of stagnant.
As long as we can help our team get to where we want to be at the end of the season, and if you can look back on the end of the season and say, there were some pretty good receivers, that's where we're more, a lot of people say now that we're one of the better receiving corps. It really doesn't mean anything unless we can go out and prove it. So, we're experienced, and we have to use that to the best of our abilities to help our team.
You feel you're at